session. Welcome, guys. It is a new season, and the book of the month is The Power Principle. Wave your books if you have your book already, if it's arrived. Yes, I see you, Brenda, A-class student. Let's go. If you haven't already ordered your book, The Power Principle is what we're going to be speaking about in the month of September. It is Step It Up September, so we are stepping it up. Now, for the whole year, guys, I've given us short books. We've done, some incredible, fantastic books for the whole month, okay, for the whole year so far. And I think you guys are ready for the big one. So I have given us the Power Principle. Now, I'm going to tell you this. We're not going to get through the whole book in the month. I know, because we're going to dive into this book and we're going to go deep. It's going to get deep. I want you guys to type deep inside the chat if you're ready to go deep. We are going to go deep with this, deep, deep, deep. And so I predict we may get to chapter 2 if we're blessed, right? And so I know some of you have yours on order. I see some of you have your books, okay? But we are going to go deep with this. So let's really talk about it. Why are we looking at, the Power Principle? And if you haven't, it's by Blaine Lee, okay? And it's been, the foreword has been written by one of my favorite authors, Stephen Covey as well. Really, really powerful. If you those of you that have your book, put a 7 in the chat if you've managed to start reading it. If you haven't, not to worry, because we're going to pick this up next week as well. So let's go into it and just go into, I think we're going to go into the introduction today. I doubt we're going to make it into chapter 1, but let's have a look here. So I want to pull us up to a few parts of this book so far. And the introduction is called The Answer Is in You. Now, what I love about, just the title in itself, as well as, the clip that we watched earlier with Bob Proctor, okay, is it all points back to the power that's on the inside of us, right? The power that we have on the inside of us. That means, guys, a 5-letter word, choice. And I want you to write that down, choice, C-H-O-I-C-E, right? C-H-O-I-C-E. Well, it's a 6-letter word, right? Whatever. Yeah, it's a 6-letter word, right? Choice. We have the choice. We can choose how we decide to move. Now, it is Step It Up in September, so we're challenging ourselves to really step up our game. In this month, we're pushing ourselves to say, hey, look, it's time to raise the bar. Whatever we did in the month of August, I know August was all in, we still have another level to go. In fact, those of you that have your cameras on and those of you that don't, I want you to raise your hand right now for me as high as you can. As high as you can, raise your hand for me. I want to see everybody raising your hand as high as you can, all right? Excellent. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to raise it just that little bit higher. Go for it. Little bit higher, little bit higher. All right, can you see what just happened there? Boom, you can put your arms down, you can rest your arms. The first time I said, raise your hand as high as you can, but then I said, can you raise it a little bit higher? You still raised it higher. That means that when we push ourselves, guys, there's still that little bit extra that we can go. We can still get deep into it. And I believe it comes from knowing the power that's on the inside of you. But also as well, it links back to what Gary was saying earlier about knowing how to unlock it, because sometimes it is the past that holds us back. It is the past that stops us and blocks us from getting to the next level. It is some of our past experiences, past relationships, past letdowns, past hurts, past pains, mighty God, past people that have stolen from us, people that have, literally ripped our soul apart. Do you remember your first breakup? And I don't mean breakup in relationship. I mean breakup in friendship. Those ones burn. I think those ones sting probably harder sometimes than the relationship ones. And so sometimes what happens is we forget and we lose the power on the inside of us. Have you ever been in a season where you don't physically see the results? And the lack of the physical manifestation of the results can make you forget who you are, can make you forget that you're called, can make you forget that actually there is power on the inside of you. And we're going to discuss power probably as we go down into the weeks of the mindset. But the answer is in you. Now, on page 2 of the introduction, right, there's a part here that says, I believe you have greatness in you, but to change the world, we must first start with ourselves. How many of you have ever heard the saying, or, you know, especially those of you on the call, most of you are mentors, coaches. We've said this, be the change you want to see, right? I mean, it's such a cliche saying, right? It's actually a saying from Gandhi, right? But here's what this book is going to help us to do. The book is going to help us to change, to become more powerful. But there's a thing about power, guys, and I want you to type in the chat for me. Let's have a conversation. When I say the word power, what comes to mind? If you say that person's powerful, that person has power, what kind of things come to mind? How do we view power? Is power a good thing? Is power a bad thing? When we look at people, what do we see as powerful? What is power? I see authority, strong, courageous, positive, influence, spiritual, boldness, presence, influence, control, right? How we view power is going to dictate how powerful we become, because if you think power is a negative thing, then you may not want to exalt that kind of power. You might not want to have power. And so confidence, authority, depends on how it's used, right? See confidence coming up multiple times. In order for us to become more powerful, we first of all got to understand what power is. What does power look like for me? It may look like something different for you. But then to be able to influence others, check it out, with honor, so that you can do more good. That's what the book's definition says. Influence others with honor so that you can do more good. Because I want you to flip it on its head. Bold, courageous, confident leader, like that, right? I want you to flip it on its head. In order to have power, you have to have power over something or someone, right? There has to be a relationship happening, because power happens in a dynamic. Does that make sense, guys? You can't be powerful to yourself, right? There's a dynamic. Who is the power going to? Where is the power? It's like you have a plug socket, but it's not powerful till you plug it in. Where is that power being transferred to? Who are you influencing? And I believe sometimes we got to start with ourselves. We got to understand the power that's on the inside of us. And so the book says, here's what we're going to learn. Based on the following premises, I want to tell you this. You already understand much about power because you experience it in many forms already, right? As others, you've influenced others and others have influenced you. But here's the thing. Power and influence can be acquired and developed. So maybe you feel like there's an area where you need to become more powerful. How many of you believe that there's certain times where you don't speak up, where you need to stand up for yourself? You need to declare war against the enemy. Sometimes when things happen, you bottle things up on the inside of you and you got to speak up. In the reverse, and I'm going to get to this later, I don't want to jump the gun on this, but you know there's a power in silence as well. A lot of people assume that power is just doing the most. Power is doing the talking. Do you know there's some people, I will tell you this, one of my mentors, and I don't want to talk his business too much, but it can be underestimated. Don't underestimate. Listen, you know, a powerful person can sit quietly in a room and say nothing. Don't underestimate and think that you have to be chatty patty in order to be powerful. So it's an assumption that, oh, because, you know, powerful can be silent. You can be silent in your power, but it's being confident in that silence and being able to execute it. There's something called powerlessness. And each of the 3 paths to power, which we're going to go through today, have different levels of foundations, okay? Here's a big one. You can choose to choose power or powerlessness every single day. Every single day, every single situation, every single obstacle, you get to choose, is this situation going to take precedent and control me and take power over me, or am I going to take power over it? Have you ever been stressed about something that is completely out of your control? You're waiting for a decision. You're waiting for somebody to confirm something, or you're in a waiting season where there's nothing you can particularly do about it. You can still claim power in that moment, because you can say, you know what, this is not going to control me. This is not going to consume me. I am going to keep doing what I need to do, and I'm not going to allow this thing to play with my mind. You can't have me, devil. You can't have me, enemy. You can't have me, parasites. Remember, we spoke about parasites last week, guys, right? Who remembers the definition of a parasite? A parasite, those of you need to write this down. Parasite definition is an organism that sucks and takes and gives nothing good in return. Mighty Jesus. You get to choose. You get to choose powerlessness or powerful. Depending on the situation, you may attempt to influence others with honor. And the with honor part is very deep. We're going to talk into that. With fairness, with fear, or you may sometimes doubt your ability to influence at all. So there's a choice on how you influence, right? And I don't know, maybe we can go into the influencing techniques. I think I'm going to give you guys some of the influencing techniques. You want to learn some influencing? I'm going to teach you some of the tricks of the trade, especially the women on here. Any wives on the call, I'm going to teach you some tricks of the trade. You didn't come here for that, but you're going to get some of that today, right? There's 9 of them, 9 influencing techniques. I am the G at these, okay? So don't hate, just appreciate, okay? Get your notebook out. I'm going to give you those 9 at the end, okay? Yes. Don't let me forget that. I'm gonna put you on game today, guys, but you have it. It's my gift to you. All right. Wherever you exercise them, just give me little ratings when they work, and then you can go on and live good niceness. Okay. There's different influencing techniques. We want to talk about that. The results you get with each approach are absolutely predictable. So every time you influence in a particular area, you know exactly what you're doing. And do you know, guys, there's a difference between influence and manipulation? Big. Let me give you the definition. I'm going sidetrack, Holy Spirit moving here today. Difference. Manipulation is for the person who is doing the influencing. Influence, when you influence someone, it is for that person's greater good. It may also benefit you too, but it's also good for that person. There is a difference. Manipulators do get you to do things, or get you to be things, or get you to have things going on, which has no benefit to you whatsoever. That's manipulation, right? Influence means that the recipient is receiving a benefit. Make sense, right? Now, whatever your official title or position, ultimately your ability to influence others is a result of what you are as well as what you do. This one's going to hurt. How many of you have ever said, oh, I'm just attracting people that don't have money to buy in my business? Let me tell you the reason why. Should I go there today? I mean, we're talking about power. I mean, this is my zone. The reason why you're attracting people that don't have enough money to buy from your business is because it's a reflection of who you are. You see, you're selling yourself cheap because you don't understand the power that's on the inside of you. So the energy that you give off attracts those type of peoples. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you show up on social media, the way you even say what you're offering. You don't even want to tell your price. You're like, oh, well, you know, it's, say it with your chest. How you speak, who you speak to is going to come back to you in evidence of the type of people that you're going to have around you. And so over this next 4 weeks, as we're talking about power, we're want to go deep into it. I'm going to help you to pull out. And we're going to do this together because I tell you, they're still stretching, still next levels. But I will tell you this, some of you, your price needs to go up. Some of you got to be able to believe that you're worth more. Because if you don't believe in you, if you don't believe that you are worth more, nobody else is going to believe. You see, the first person you got to sell it to is yourself. Now, the problem is right now, you may not think you have the results. Right now, you may be looking at your bank account. Right now, you may be looking at where you live. Right now, you may be looking at your environment. But you see, what Bob said at the beginning of this call is he said, you got to first write it down and start to speak it every single day and be open and receptive for when God, the universe, whatever you believe, begins to come with the solutions. You see, sometimes the solution is right under your nose. Sometimes you have that individual, you have that opportunity, you have that mentorship right there. But because you're not open and receptive, just like the book we were talking about, you've seen it so many times, you've read it so many times, but you wasn't ready to receive it just yet. So you didn't see it. How many of you have had access to a manager at work, but you never talk to them because you think, oh, I don't want to disturb them? Or you have that cousin that's making crazy amounts of money, but you don't know what they do, but you won't humble yourself and call them and say, hey, what's going on, bro? I see you've been doing well. Talk to me. Because our pride, what did Bob say? Our old paradigm, our old past is telling us, don't beg no friend. How many of us have been taught that? How many of our parents said, don't go out there and tell our business to anyone. Whatever happens in the house stays in the house. Don't you dare talk to strangers. Don't you dare go out there and tell our business. Don't you dare go out there and say anything that happens inside this house. And one thing you better know, if anyone diss you, or any gal diss you, you diss them back and you don't chat to them again. Right? That was my upbringing. So guess how I came up? Hard. Someone even remotely, sometimes they even do now, but someone even remotely come for me. I'm ready. I'm on guard, ready to fight. Because my mum said, no new friends, don't beg friend. But hold up now. Isn't it not new friends that's going to buy into your business? Isn't it not new friends that's going to sow into you? How many of you said, well, family don't support me, so who are you going to wait for? So if there's no new friends and no family and friends ain't buying from you, you ain't got business, fam. So we got to shift the paradigm of no new friends. We got to shift the paradigm of, we got to be open and receptive. We got to cleanse our heart, soften our heart. But know that the power on the inside of us means that we're worth new friends. Some of you have got to tell yourself, I'm worth good people around me. I know what's happened in the past, but God is sending me angels. God is sending me the right people that's going to come towards me, that's going to pour into me, that's going to love me, that's going to give to me without me thinking that they're just going to come and take, because that's what's happened in the past. There are good people out there in this world. There are powerful people that's going to come and help me to unlock the power on the inside of me. But I first have to believe that I deserve it. Because when I know I deserve it, guess what happens? Next time someone DMs you, next time you meet someone in the elevator, next time you see someone at the school gates, you're that little bit more friendly. Why? Because you know that you've had the word now that he's sending people. He's sending people. So I don't want to block my blessing. I got to be ready for it, because the power lies in me being open and receptive. You see, one of my affirmations, I'm just be real, I had to change my affirmation. I am open and receptive to who God puts in my life, person or opportunity that is going to enable me to achieve my God-given purpose on this earth. I am so happy and grateful now that I am open and receptive to whosoever business opportunity or person who God places in my life to help me to achieve my God-given purpose. I will not block my blessings, but I will indeed be open and receptive, because I know that there's a power on the inside of me. I know that I deserve to be blessed. Wealth is my birthright. I am royalty. Some of you got to realign your affirmations. Rewrite your affirmations to remember the power that's on the inside of you. Some of you have to make a decision to let go of some of the past baggage that you got to, the old paradigms. Them old paradigms. We got to shift that. We got to make sure that those seeds that's been sown, remember the book from last month, it says that our mind is fertile ground. Our mind is so fertile. So whatever we put in it is a seed, and it will grow. So some of us have got to say to ourselves, crop failure. You guys remember that? If a broke thought comes into your mind, crop failure, I reject that. Broke thought comes out your mouth, crop failure, let me reverse that. I am blessed. I am powerful. I am not tired. I went to netball first day back in the season. Guys, I ain't gonna lie, I had my sprays. And I'm there on the court. And there's a broke thought that came in my mind. I don't know where it came from. The devil's a liar. And the thought was like, Nikki, you're tired. Nikki, you're tired. I was like, crop failure. Hell no, I'm tired. I'm energetic. I'm powerful. I can do this. And I spoke myself back into the game. When was the last time you thought about your thinking? Do you actively think about what you're thinking about? When those thoughts come in your head, can you say, crop failure? Crop failure. Satan, get behind thee. That's not my thoughts. That ain't for me. Because sometimes the power that's on the inside of us is not the enemy attacking. We are our own enemy. Sometimes we are the one that self-destruct. We are the one that self-sabotage. And so the only fight that we can fight against it is knowing that the power's on the inside of us, that we have in fact, life and death is in the power of the tongue, as we know. But how do we execute the tongue? This is not just about saying the right things around the right people. How do you speak to yourself when no one is looking? This is not about, oh, well, Nikki, my morning routine, I listen to mindset, I do my affirmations. But then when you're in the car and someone cut you up in traffic, you're like, move me like a naughty, drop. Oh, the road rage come out. So, you don't remember your affirmations no more. Because the road rage done hit you now, right? So what we got to make sure is we're living this, we're being this. It's not a chore, but it's something that is our being, that we understand the power that's on the inside of us. Somebody put their middle finger up at me. I drove to London the other day and they put their middle finger up at me because I was, I'm used to driving countryside. So I'm chilled. I'm not in a rush. And the person overtook me and put their middle finger up at me. And I went, God bless you. And I was like, oh my God, girl, you've changed. I'm growing. I gave myself a little arcs. Yes, right? Because the old me would have been like, what? Is he mad? But you see, when you understand the power that's on the inside of you, when you understand who it is that you're called to be, you see, I don't want my name associated with mess no more. I have far too much to lose now because I understand that I'm a powerful vessel that God has put on this earth to impact nations and generations. And so there's just some things I can't associate with, and there's just some people I can't speak with, and there's just some things I can't entertain. And so the old me has to die for the new me to live. I can't be seen as being an angry person. I can't be seen as being impatient. I can't be seen as being reckless. Because I know he's called me for greatness. You see, when you overreact like that, that's because you don't know who you are. You don't understand the power that's on the inside of you. Don't let no one dirty your name. Don't let no one, as my mom would call it, draw you out. You're too classy for that. Too elegant for that. So when you understand the power on the inside of you, you can be silent. You can bless those that curse you. You can smile and be gracious. You can say, okay, he may be having a bad day. Sometimes I say, maybe his wife's in the hospital and he's rushing to go to the hospital. We never know what people are going through, guys. And sometimes you've got to pray for your enemies. Sometimes your power comes from knowing that, I could have reacted and I didn't. Hercules, I'm changing. Right? Point number 8 is you can change. The saying, I've always been like this. This is how it's always been. Them negative self-fulfilling prophecies, we're going to cut it out now. I've always been shy. Shy people don't get paid. Facts. I've always been in the background. You can change. 5-letter word, change. Choice. Change. The power is in your choices. The power is in how you decide to speak to yourself. The power is in how you decide to behave. The power is in the blessing of your thoughts. Remember TEAR, T-E-A-R. Your thoughts affect what? Your emotions. Your emotions impact your actions, and your actions determine your results. And so we reverse engineer and say, hey, what, Tia? If I don't have the results I desire, maybe I got to look at what? My action. What am I doing? What am I not doing? If I don't have the action, then maybe I need to go back a step. And maybe I need to look at my emotions. Have I been emotional? Have I lacked honor? Is there a place where I didn't sow the right seeds? Is there a place where I'm being a little bit, And then we trace it back to our thoughts. How are you thinking? And we've done a lot of work on celebrating others. I celebrate people I love celebrating other people, because I understand that whatever you celebrate, you accelerate in your life. And so if you're in a mindset of gratitude, celebrating others, love, your thoughts are going to impact the way that you feel. And so the last one is, you can make a difference for good. The world needs what you can do. And this is powerful, because this relates to, having self-confidence that you are called. You are called for a purpose. You are called for now. And it's unlocking that to not compare. The spirit of comparison really kills vision, really kills missions. I don't care what them over there are doing. I don't care what them over there are saying. I don't care how much money them over there are made. Fantastic. We celebrate them. But don't get distracted. And the spirit of distraction is very active, especially when you make a decision that you're going to do something. Especially when have you ever made a decision that you're going to buy something, you're going to invest in your business, you're going to do something, and all of a sudden, boom, parking ticket. All of a sudden, boom, expense. All of a sudden, baby father don't drop off the child support like he normally does. There is always going to be something that suddenly happens, but the power is still on the inside of you. Power. I remember speaking to somebody. I'm gonna tell you real deal, guys. Real deal. I remember this is about 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I decided I was going full-time entrepreneur. I was left my job, banking job, 15 years, and I was on a grind. I was on a come up, right? Living paycheck to paycheck. Things were tight, right? Paycheck to paycheck. And I made a decision I was going to invest in my business, because I knew that was the only thing that was going to help me to unlock the chains of poverty that I'd found myself in. I was determined. And so when the money came in, I kid you not, guys, the money came in, and it was a decision. Do I pay my mortgage, or do I invest in my business? And I chose to invest in my business. And I didn't pay my mortgage. Now, some people were like, but Nikki, that's crazy. No, it ain't, because I had faith. I knew that I invested in my business. I was going to grind. I was going to make it work. And then I'll be able to pay 2 mortgages the following month. Right? I just want you to understand the risk taking when you have a discovery of the power that's on the inside of you. Now, I wouldn't advise everybody to do that, because everybody doesn't understand the power that's on the inside of them, because the power makes you take action. The power makes you speak with conviction. The power makes you get up and you move a little bit different. When you understand the power that's on the inside of you, it's not arrogance, it's confidence. You can begin to speak with a spirit of boldness, because you know who you are, and you know that the results have to come, because you're not going to be slack in what's concerning you. You know that what you have to do is what you have to do. And so that following month, I grinded like my life depended on it. I went to events. I did events after events. I hosted home meetings. I did so many things to make sure that I doubled up on my investment. But I understood the power that was inside of me because I was in the zone. Have you ever been in a zone, whether that's been business or work or whatever, where you're in the zone and you're untouchable? It's like everything you touch goes to gold. I was in the zone. I was closing out deals. I'm closing out sales. I was in that zone. No one could take me out of that zone because I understood the power that was on the inside of me. You see, that's what we need to shift. That's a shift that's taking place here. The shift of understanding that we're not coming from a place of lack. Someone said to me the other day, Nikki, I don't have the money. You do have the money, but you choose to do some things with the money. Not that you don't have the money. You do have the money, right? You do have the time, but you choose to do what you want to do with the time. And it's unlocking that. Do you believe that you're worth another level? Are you willing to make a sacrifice to get to that next level? Are you willing to position yourself to get to that next level? Are you willing to fight to be in the room? Are you willing to fight to get to where it is that you need to go? Here's what the book says. If you underestimate your power, you get inaction. So you underestimate your power. You don't know who you are. Guess what happens? Nothing. You get nothing. If you underestimate your power, nothing changes. In fact, you stay where you are or you go backwards. But if you overestimate your power, you get conflict and antagonism. Have you ever seen some people online or seen some people in real life and you know, let me just be careful. Holy Spirit reign. Can't be messy now. But you ever seen people that overestimate their power? It's like, bro, I know you, bro. Like, we know. We know. Stop. You guys know what I'm saying? Let me put another perspective. Have you ever seen or heard? I'm gonna tell you a true story, guys. I'll tell you a true story. And this is my friend Tosin. She's my sister. I absolutely love Tosin. And Tosin highlighted to me something the other day. And Tosin, I was like, geez, I had no idea. Well, I did have an idea, but she done tricked me because she's so powerful online. It's a powerful thing. Let me tell you this. A true story, guys. No shade. No shade. True story. Right? And this is how you can execute your power. An individual that we both know, right? An individual that we both know, she said to me, Nikki, this person is, you know, obviously somebody very well known, but this person is struggling, like massively struggling financially. This person is massively struggling financially. The person doesn't have a home. They're homeless, right? The person has a very basic, basic car, nothing to like shout out about. But you know what that person does? They show up online like £1 million. And they have a coaching community where they coach people, yeah? And people literally pay someone who doesn't have any results to teach them how to get results. A good friend. But you know the difference between why somebody who has all the skill sets and all the knowledge and all the degrees is not getting paid, and somebody like that who does have no results. Because I'll be honest, there's a lot of people out there that are proclaiming, I actually am a mentor, right? I'm not and guys, there's a difference between mentorship and coaching, right? And we're not going to go into all of that today, right? So you have a coach who's going to give you directions, a mentor is going to give you experience, two different things, right? But I'm a mentor who has the results, right? Who has the results. So I'm giving you experience to what I have done. It's not hypothetics, right? But then you can have somebody who's going to say to you, this is what I think you should do. but I've never done it before. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean it's a good thing. It just means it's a thing. And there's a lot of people right now, right, that have decided to live in their power without results and still managing to have a big network of people paying them for skill sets that they haven't used themselves to get the results. Do you guys understand what I'm saying to you right now? In other words, you have people that are selling Airbnb courses. They don't own an Airbnb themselves. You understand what I'm saying, guys? But because their confidence can talk about it, their boldness and their power can say, hey, look, this is what you should have. And I think you should do. People will buy from them. You have salesmen that sell cars and they don't own a car themselves. So the question isn't about, do you have degrees? There's some people with degrees longer than their arm, not living in the power that they have. And sometimes it is blagging, Andrea, but sometimes it's just confidence. Sometimes it's just exalting the power that's on the inside of them. Now, here's the thing. The book says, if you overestimate it, you get conflict and antagonism, because it does catch up with you. So you've got to keep growing. You've got to keep learning. But there is something that you can learn from that, which says that it doesn't matter sometimes what you know, is how you execute. Because if you knew, you do, like what Bob said, right? Uncle Bob said it perfectly in that clip. If you knew, you would do. So what is it that you got to do to really step forward? What are you waiting for? The book says, when you understand the power principle, you become more careful what you ask for others. This is deep. This happens because you're more likely to check your motive before you ask someone to do something. You won't want to control them. Instead, you'll ask them to act accordingly to their conscience. Do you know, anytime I mentor someone, ladies and gentlemen, I don't tell them what to do. I will give a suggestion. So I'll say, listen to this audio. I will say, write your affirmations down. Shout out to Max, one of my mentees on the call right now. And I gave Max a clip to watch. And inside the clip, told him, write your affirmations every single day. Send it to your mentor every single day. I did not come back to Max and say to Max, hey, Max, every single day. Max sending me his affirmations. Max doing the homework. Shout out to Max. Max made over 400 pounds last week. Let's go, Max. I'm super proud of you. Out there in Australia as well, representing our very own tree surgeon. Pick up yourself, Max, right? And literally, I've seen a light bulb switch. But I've never told him. I said, look, take a listen to this and see what's going on. A good mentor is not going to beg people. Listen, a good mentor ain't going to beg people to take action. They're going to hold you accountable. There's a difference. But they're going to beg you to take action because you have to want it for yourself. You got to have the power on the inside of you. That's why when you raise your prices, listen, eagles and you know the saying. I am going to finish it. But when you raise your prices, eagles run at a certain altitude. Pigeons ain't going up there. It's too high for them. When people say, oh, Nikki, your prices are too high, I ain't attracting pigeons, babe. I'm looking for eagles. We want to soar. We're soaring out here, baby. Right? I'm teaching you guys. You got to understand. Listen, some of you got to posture up. Some of you have to posture up. You let these people distract you from your business. You let these people distract you from your prices. You let these people distract you and make you think that you're too expensive. Oh, can't you afford it? Is that what it is? You got to learn how to have conversation eloquently with honor. I did a reel a couple of weeks ago and I said, let me tell you something. If you can't afford it, don't say you can't afford it. Just say I'll start on the 7th. Don't de-edify yourself because I'm going to look down and say, oh, you can't afford it now. How long have you lived like that? How long have you been living where you can't afford to make a £200 decision? How long have you been living where you can't make a £600 decision? Especially if you've been working in this country, a first world country for 15, 20, 10 years, and you don't have £200. Times are rough. What's going on for you right now? I want to help you. You don't have 200 pounds? You don't have 500 pounds? How long have you lived like that? How long have you been in a situation where you've been living on the breadline? Now, I'm not judging, because I remember when I remember when I was in that position. I remember when I couldn't even afford petrol to put in my car. I had to call in sick to work because I couldn't afford petrol. There was not enough money to put petrol in my car. So I know how desperate that feels. I know how bad that feels when you have to say no to your kids. But you know what I decided? To find the power on the inside of me to change that. And so when I show up every day online, when I push my mentees to the level where they are forced money in their pocket, you know why? It's because I never want to go back to that place again. And I don't want none of my mentees to be in a place where they're looking at their bank account crying, where they're scared to log in, or they're scared to check the texts because the bank's going to message them and say, you better put that money in by 2 o'clock. Oh, you don't understand the drive. You see, when you're an eagle, you know you don't definitely want to go down with the pigeons. So you're going to work harder. You're going to push harder. But you're going to have the posture. So when somebody comes to you and wants to distract you from your business or discredit your business or discredit what you do, you have the power on the inside of you, not to be rude, but you have the power to give clarification. So you repeat what you hear. Okay. It sounds, I've had somebody say to me, they're asking a bag of questions. Now these questions, you're asking a bag of questions. My mentor says that you can really tell a person by the questions they ask. Someone says, well, how much time am I going to put in? That's a red flag. I don't think this is for you. That type of question, I don't think business is for you. You see, some of you are like, oh, you just need to do an hour a day. You start justifying them because you're massaging laziness. Listen, how you massage laziness? That's why you attract those people into your business. Am I helping you guys? And can you see where you've been going wrong? Oh, how much time? How much money do I need to invest? How much time do I need to invest? Realistically, can you tell me how long? How quickly can I make some money? I said, no, the question you should be asking is, Nikki, what exactly do I need to do in order to start making 2, 3, 4, 5, 10,000 a month? You see, you hear that type of question, okay, I won't work with you. You see, you've been seeing the red flags, but you've been massaging the red flags because you don't know the power that's on the inside of you. What's the other questions you get? Right? Let's see what else the book says. When you understand the relationship between this kind of power and influence, you will be able to influence others without even forcing them, because you stop wanting to control them and instead ask them to act according to their conscience. I'll teach you something right now, guys. Some of you talk too much. You over talking. There's power in silence. I do it well in conversation. So are you ready to get started? You can hear them thinking, what can I say? Let me not tell her I don't have the money. Don't tell her you don't have the money. What do you say? I'm going to start on the 1st. How's your posture? Does your posture scream power, or does it scream desperation because you're worried about the light bill? You don't want to turn them away. You're like, oh, I don't want. Let me tell you something. You see what's for you cannot be not for you. Who you are called to serve cannot be not for you. And so it's better they leave now than they do later on in life, because it's going to hurt you. There's something the book said. You guys remember that? Let me see if I can find it. Or was that last week? Anyone that leaves your life, they needed to. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes you don't look at patterns. We're going to wrap up. I told you, we ain't even on the 3rd page, right? Let me see. Let's see if I find it for you guys. right? When they leave your life, guys, they had to leave. You know why? Because it makes room. There you go. If someone is not treating you with respect and love, it is a gift if they walk away from you. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure years of suffering. Walking away may temporarily hurt, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. Ladies and gentlemen, the power is on the inside of you. Now, you will discover that it's better to win with love, even though sometimes you want to force these people, even though sometimes you want to push it. But you've got to love yourself and know the power that's on the inside of you guys. And I hope I've encouraged you. I hope I've encouraged you to walk with more boldness. I hope I've encouraged you to step up in this September. I hope I've encouraged you to really dig deeper into the power principle, to understand that you can walk in the power that you have. Now, of course, we are in the September challenge, okay? The September, who knows the September challenge? Type it in the chat box. Let me see if I can see the box. The September challenge. Okay, the September challenge is, of course, up, up, down, down. Yeah. So it's money up, up, weight down, down. Okay. We are in a season of Step It Up September. Money up, up, weight down, down. Now, what is that? That is a challenge that we're all doing together as a community. Those of us that want to lose some weight in the month of September, we are challenging ourselves. Everyone has their own individual targets of what it is that they want to lose. It's not too late to join our challenge, okay? You will need your Crave spray, all right? You'll get your Crave spray, and we're taking our spray every day. And, you know, I felt really fabulous today with mine at netball, and I will be weighing myself weekly. I know some of you are just weighing yourself beginning and end based on Brenda's rules, but I'll be weighing myself weekly and to get the weight down. But if you also want to be a part of the Money Up Up crew, then if you sell 10 of these, you'll actually get $500 a month in commission. Okay, so you can choose to be part of the Money Up, the Weight Down Down, or you can be a part of Weight Down Down and Money Up Up as well. Okay, and we're stepping it up. So we're doing, but some of us are doing both. You can, of course, do one. You could do both. Is entirely up to you. All right. So exhort the power that is on the inside of you. Really dig deep. Work on your self-confidence. Okay. The self-confidence formula is so powerful, guys. I'm going to drop it inside our community. And also as well, that video that we played at the beginning of the call with Bob Proctor, I will also drop that inside the community as well. Okay. So let me just find out from you all before we come off here. If you haven't already put a reminder each and every week we are on here, so put on a reminder on your phone, 9 p.m. every week. It's the same link. If you are not inside the Rebuild community, then make sure that you find out how you can get in. It's free at the moment to join that community. Next year, there will be a charge. So if you want to be in there now, so you can stay in there free of charge, all right? There will be a charge next year because we're understanding the power that's on the inside of us. And so make sure you get on the inside. We also have a few events coming up. Every Wednesday, we have our event in London. And also as well, we have the event on the 16th as well. So please make sure you come out. It'd be great to see as many of you in person as well. So any comments from anybody, any revelations? I just want to hear a few. I'm going to unmute a few of you, starting with Brenda. What are you going to exercise this week when it comes to your power? One key takeaway that you're going to do when it comes to your power this week, Brenda. Are you a part of the Money Up, Up and Weight Down, Down?
I am. And I think I need to be a bit more courageous and I do need to practice my posture instead of sounding apologetic, all the time. So that's what my goal is. I'm literally writing scenarios and how I would approach it courageously.
Amazing, amazing, excellent, excellent. Nadia, what are you going to be working on this week when it comes to your power?
Posture. Speaking up, being more bold, being more confident. And when I get the nose, don't let it hurt me too much. Just like take it like a vitamin and keep going.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. Let's see if I can unmute Ange. Ange, are you there? Are you able to unmute?
Yes. Can you hear me, Nikki?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. It's really interesting that what you've just asked, because I was in the garden on Sunday and had a bit of a epiphany. I can never say that word. And I've taken up my red shoes. I've got some red high heels, and I've decided I'm going to do a video of me walking away from toxic people and toxic relationships for this month.
Yes, the
So,
power
yeah.
heels.
Yes, that's the one.
Everybody needs some red heels, red power heels. Love it,
Yes.
love it, love it. I'm looking forward to seeing that posted on the old Instagram, I'm sure. Please send it into the chat as well when you do it, so we can all go and support your page as well. Fabulous.
Will
Love
do.
that. Love that, love that, love that. You got to do it now. You've just told us all, and we are very excited.
Accountable.
Yes. That's it. That's it. Who else we got on here? Belinda, we'll come to you next. How are you going to walk in your power this week, lady?
I'm going to work on my posture and the energy that I give off. Like you said, the energy that you give off attracts the people that come into your business. So I need to work on me and the energy that I'm giving off, not selling myself cheap, posture up and yeah, raise my chest. So yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love that. Who else? Bev, how are you going to execute your power this week? If we can get Bev up.
Yeah. Same thing, Nikki. Not selling myself too short. The thing that's about thinking that your products are more valuable, and somebody who can't afford it might think not. But just making sure that I know the value of what I'm producing and selling.
Yes, yes, phenomenal. Love that, love that. Charlene, how are you going to execute your power today, beautiful lady?
Well, I'm in the middle of affirmations, so I'm going to put that forward a little bit more. But the thoughts, emotions, actions, reaction, I think that's a good one for me at the moment to put that into focus. So I've got so much things trying to balance, so I think that's a good one.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so you're going to be looking at the tier strategy. Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Who else do we have here? Who else? Not sure if Max is able to unmute or if he's at work already. Max, are you able to unmute? Or
yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, yes, we can hear you, sir.
Lovely. This week, I want to focus on my negative thoughts, actively monitoring my thoughts a lot more. I sort of found that I had a little bit of a down day yesterday, and that was like a result of the thoughts that I had, and sort of hearing that has made me notice it, and I'm definitely going to work on that. And every day choose power over powerlessness.
Yes, phenomenal. And anytime the thought comes, because a lot of time people think that you never have negative thoughts. No, it's a lie. They do come, but you've got to recognize it. Think about your thinking and be like, crop failure. I reject that thought. And you almost get into a war with the thought. You're like, oh, crop failure, get out of my head. And it works. It really does. So thank you for sharing that, Max. I think that will help a lot of people here. Lorraine, can Lorraine unmute? My sister Lorraine. Hello, hon.
Hi, yeah, this is the actually the first mindset call that I've been on for some time, because I'm normally at work or commuting back from work, so I'm never on. So it's quite powerful that I'm on, to start with. My thoughts this week will be definitely to work on my time management, because I seem to be sort of a slave to too many masters, and I can't get anything done because I'm sort of spreading myself all over the place.
Yes.
And just real focus. And I think that in itself is power. Once you can focus on one thing and focus on myself before I can help others. So that's what I'm going to be working on this week. The power in saying no to please others as well. That's me this week anyway.
Love that. The power of saying no. Come on now. You know that's coming. You know that's coming. So thank you, Lorraine. Absolutely love that. Time management is definitely a power play. Not firefighting and being pulled in all different directions. Donna, what are you saying, Donna? How are you going to walk in your power this week, hon?
Okay, so I'm going to do declarations, daily declarations, and I'm going to start questioning myself with wisdom. Say, speaking to myself, how will I execute? How are you going to execute it? So speaking to myself as well to make sure that I bring application.
Love that. Love that. Yes, it's holding yourself accountable. I think it's really, really powerful. Excellent. Mr. Gary Dixon?
Hey, Nikki, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Okay, apologies. Yeah, I've been doing some follow-up calls on this mindset. And one of the things that I've decided to do is really up my activity, income producing activities. Been doing 2 or 3 presentations a day for the last few days now. It's been quite rewarding. You touched on something earlier as well about, the right people coming in, not chasing. So that's one thing I'm seeing now. I actually had a phone call today, somebody you've met, and I'm excited because, he comes on board. It's attracting the right leaders, people that are self-starters. So I'm excited. Step Up September. Let's go. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. I love that. Part of your power is taking action. So I absolutely love that. Fantastic point. Very, very powerful. I'll go Asset next. Are you able to unmute, Asset? Let's see. Are you able to unmute? If not, we'll go Joan. Joan, are you able to unmute?
Hello, good evening. What a wonderful session. Okay, I have the choice to make my decisions. So the choice is mine, and I'm going to posture up and I'm going to step out and be bold, because I need to take things to the next level. And I also need to value my time and my service. So that is what I'm going to be working on. And I really need to think about launching. And I need to talk to both yourself and Michelle.
Yes.
Because my birthday is coming up, and I think I would love to do a birthday launch.
Yes.
Yes.
When's your birthday? When's your birthday?
The 20th.
Okay, same 20th of September.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic. So I was thinking if I can do a birthday launch, and everyone can come with their drinks, and we can be merry and cheer and have a little party.
I like
at the same time.
I like the sound of that. Yes, congratulations on your launch. It's been fabulous. I already see it. It's
Thank you.
A powerful event. Come on now, we all celebrate your birthday in advance. Joan's birthday turn up, guys. There we go. Decisions being made already on this call, and that is what I love, guys. The power is on the inside of you. It's funny when you start to think, like Mr. Bob Proctor said, things start to come into your mind. Time, you begin to put time aside. You begin to think of the right things that you want to do. Ideas start to pop, things start to happen. And all of a sudden, you've now created the life that you want. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been phenomenal. Could I also ask you to go into the community in the mindset section and just put your top 5 takeaways, so those individuals that missed the call can see, you know, some updates of today's call. And of course, if you haven't already ordered your book, The Power Principle, go ahead and order it, guys. We're going to delve into this for the month of September. Of course, it is Step Up September, all right, where we are going to be getting the weight down, down, and the money up, up. God bless you all. It's been absolutely fantastic. I'll see you all again next week, Monday. Same time, same link. Let's get it, guys.